Were you told that you'll never get rid of the HPV virus? That once you test positive, that you'll always test positive? Well, I'm Dr. Donnie, and I'm here to tell you a completely different version of that story. That it's actually possible to get rid of the HPV virus. Let's start with understanding that yes, it is a sexually transmitted virus. But please understand that most all of us are exposed to the HPV virus at some point in our life. In fact, the studies show that 80% of us are exposed to the HPV virus by age 50. So that means that most all of us are coming into contact with high-risk HPV, and yet not all of us are testing positive. What does that mean? Why is it that most of us are exposed, but not all of us test positive, and certainly not all of us get cervical cancer or vaginal cancer? So there's got to be something going on, right? What that means is that it's possible for the human body to completely clear the virus, protect us from the virus, and prevent it from causing cancer. Even if you're exposed to high-risk HPV in the future, your body has the ability to protect you, and studies have shown this to be the case, that the human body can clear the HPV virus. How is your next question, right? Well, I've been researching HPV, and I've helped thousands and thousands of women to overcome high-risk HPV for life, for good, meaning it doesn't come back again. So I can tell you, as a naturopathic doctor and midwife, helping women to protect themselves from the HPV virus, that saying that it can never go away is a complete myth. That actually you can overcome the virus. I promise you can. And your body can protect you from the HPV virus even in the future if you're exposed again with the same partner or a different partner, because you can actually help support your body to protect you from the HPV virus. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you more about that. But first, I want to really emphasize that testing positive for HPV or having a positive HPV diagnosis is a very serious diagnosis. Just because you might think, and your doctor might say, well, it's not going to go away, just come back for another pap smear and retest and see if it turned into cancer, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing something about it. In fact, to me, I would encourage you to definitely be proactive about addressing the virus so that you can get it to negative the next time you go in for a pap smear. So here's the thing, is each year in the United States that there are 11,500 new cases of cervical cancer, and 4,000 women die from cervical cancer in the United States every year. So this is absolutely a serious virus that has the potential to kill you and take away your chances at a life that you love. So it's worth it to do something about it. It's worth it to understand it and take proactive steps so that you can prevent it from causing cancer in your body. So the thing is that HPV virus can show up in very subtle ways. In fact, most practitioners would tell you that there's no symptoms of high-risk HPV. Low-risk HPV causes genital warts, but high-risk HPV doesn't cause warts. And so most women are thinking there's no symptoms. How am I supposed to know it's there except for when I go for my pap smear? Well, what I would encourage you to do is to realize that there actually are symptoms from this virus that you may not have realized were related to the HPV virus. And that's because we need to start thinking about symptoms as signals from your body that are showing up, telling you that it's overwhelmed and needs attention, right? Like to understand that when we have symptoms such as fatigue or bloating or anxiety, waking up in the middle of the night worrying about HPV, feeling like it's difficult to make decisions, feeling like you've got digestive upset or menstrual symptoms, perimenopausal symptoms, maybe vaginal infections, bladder infections, your skin is changing, little things where you're like, what is this? Is this just aging? To me, is that there's symptoms telling you that your body is depleted and needing attention. And when your body is depleted and nutrient depleted, hormones imbalanced, neurotransmitters imbalanced, and you start to get these symptoms in your body of not feeling good, not feeling yourself, that's exactly when the HPV virus comes in and takes advantage of the situation. The HPV virus is able to tell when we're experiencing symptoms of burnout, nutrient deficiency, hormone imbalances, microbiome imbalances. That's exactly when the HPV virus is going to say, oh, now that she's distracted and depleted, I'm going to take this chance to come in and cause abnormal cells. That's exactly what happens with the HPV virus. So if you're testing positive for HPV, and especially if you have some of these symptoms that I just mentioned, then that to me is saying, okay, this is high alert. We need to help your body heal. We need to address the deficiencies and imbalances that are going on in order to protect you, because otherwise you have this HPV virus running a program in the background constantly. Your body's 100% of the time trying to protect you from this virus. And meanwhile, anything else that happens, any other cold virus or stress that comes in your life, now your body has even more work to do. And it's likely that it's not going to be able to keep up. Again, that's when the HPV virus is able to cause more damage. What happens is then the HPV virus can get into the cells. Usually it starts with the cells of the cervix, and then it might go into the cells of the vagina or other areas of the body, and it starts causing damage to the DNA of the cells. And that's what then can progress to cancer in that tissue. So we need to be able to help your body recover from what you've been through, recover from stresses, even way back to childhood, recover from toxic relationships, recover from toxins in the environment, nutrient deficiencies, and maybe medications that you've had to take along the way, so that you've built up your resiliency again, so that your body isn't so distracted and overwhelmed, so that your body can say, hey, HPV virus, we're going to take care of you and get you out of here and protect you from it. It doesn't have a chance to come in and cause problems. So how is it that you can kill HPV? I'm going to talk you through 5 tips today. One is starting with prioritizing your self-care. So much of the time as women, we don't prioritize our self-care. And that's true for men sometimes as well. Especially, I help women in my practice, and I see that a lot of times women are taking care of everybody else, right? Taking care of maybe children or parents or other people in their life, and they're caretakers, which is beautiful. And at the same time, they're less likely to be taking care of themselves. In fact, sometimes it takes time to really learn how to take care of yourself, sometimes it feels impossible to even find ways to put time in your schedule to take care of you, right? Like, how do you actually find time for your own stress recovery and your own self-care? And so this is a practice, something that takes practice. And I encourage you to just start now, start today, start with 1 minute, start with 5 minutes. Start by, when you go to the grocery store, purchasing food that's more nutrient dense and healthier for you. Start by making sure you're getting filtered water with electrolytes through the day. Make sure you're getting time to get into bed and get enough hours of sleep at night. Make sure you have time to spend some time in nature or do some journaling and listening to music. And absolutely also making time for some exercise or movement. This is exactly the acronym that I use for self-care. C for clean eating, A for adequate sleep, R for recovery activities, and E for exercise. So we need to start helping you to take better care of yourself in these ways. Did you recently get an abnormal pap smear result and test positive for HPV? Then I'm here to help you. I'm Dr. Donnie Wilson, naturopathic doctor and midwife, and I specialize in helping women to address abnormal pap smear results and clear HPV to negative. I would love to invite you to join me for my next free online workshop called Secrets to Clear HPV. In the workshop, you're going to learn all about HPV, what your pap smear results mean, about the myths that might be working against you, and the first 5 things that I recommend that you do to help your body clear HPV. You can join this workshop from anywhere online, and you can also be anonymous. Just go to hpv.drdonnie.com, that's doctordoni.com, or click the link down below, and I look forward to seeing you there. The second thing to do is to start listening to the signals from your body, as though those are signals that your body needs attention from you. Sometimes we feel like almost like we're in a battle with our own body, and we dismiss this like, oh, why does my body need so much attention? Well, I would turn that around and say, of course your body needs attention. You live in the human body. Of course it needs your attention. And of course, if it doesn't have what it needs, it's going to cause symptoms to occur. So if you're feeling bloated, that means you're not digesting your food well. We need to work on helping you to calm when you're eating and chew well and be able to digest your food better, perhaps needing to take digestive enzymes until your digestion can work better. If you're in pain, whether that's emotional or physical pain, that means there's inflammation in your body. We need to start looking at, are there foods you're eating that are inflammatory? And do you have leaky gut that's causing inflammation to go throughout your body and your nervous system? If you're tired all the time, it means that likely there's some hormone imbalances and nutrient deficiencies, or even neurotransmitter deficiencies that are going on, and we need to give them attention. These are all things that can be addressed with natural approaches, nutrients, herbs, natural hormones. We can get all of this back online again. So by noticing the signals or symptoms in your body, it's not to say there's something wrong. It's to say, oh, this is something that needs attention that I can address and therefore help my body recover so that I can feel good and I can protect myself from HPV. The third thing I would say is to do testing to find out exactly what your body needs. As much as we can guess and determine to some degree based on the symptoms you're having, it is a game changer when we do specific specialty testing. Yes, blood work is important. There are some things we can get from blood work covered by insurance, things like finding out if you have anemia or thyroid hormone imbalance or blood sugar issues. Those things we can find in standard blood work, but there's a lot that we cannot get from standard blood work, and we need to go to specialty labs and pay out of pocket to get the information that can actually help you know exactly the steps to take. Like, we need to know, do you have IgA and IgG food sensitivities and leaky gut? So we can specifically change your diet and address leaky gut. Do you have cortisol that's too high or too low? Do you have estrogen and progesterone imbalances? Do you have issues with how your liver is detoxifying estrogens? Do you have an imbalance in your microbiome, your gut biome, or your vaginal biome? These are things that we can test for. It's not done in the standard clinic or under insurance. These are tests that are done and available through specialty labs. And this is something that I offer through my office because I feel that you all deserve to have this information about your body, even though it's not part of the standard medical system. It's something you deserve to have access to, and you deserve to have help to address, because then we're actually addressing the signals and symptoms that your body's giving so that it can protect you from HPV. Number 4 is to tend to your microbiome. I mentioned the microbiome, which is the healthy microbes, bacteria, and other microbes that live in the gut. We hear about it most related to the gut, but we also have a microbiome in the vagina and other areas of our body, including on our skin. And when we're under stress, when we're exposed to toxins, when we're exposed to medications like antibiotics, the microbiome gets disrupted. And now it's what should be our protector, right? The healthy microbiome protects us from HPV and other infections. But when the microbiome is out of balance and depleted, then it can't protect us the way we would like it to, or that it should. So we need to help get that microbiome back on track. And there are absolutely ways to do that. We can, first of all, do DNA analysis to identify the imbalances in the microbiome. This is not testing done in the standard clinic. So you're going to have to do testing through a specialty lab. And this is something that I offer through my clinic. And we're also going to then need to take steps, not just taking antibiotics, but we can use herbs and nutrients and specific forms of probiotics, usually not just a general probiotic. We need to use a probiotic that's been researched to help to reestablish a healthy vaginal microbiome, orally and vaginally. And we need to be using certain formulas to help with I call it managing the population, the traffic director, to help to get the microbiome back on track again. It's absolutely possible. I've been helping thousands of people to get their microbiome back on track for many years, so I know it's possible for you too. And the fifth thing is you need to be taking supplements at clinical doses. I know that so many of you search on the internet and you are searching this health food store, and you might find here or there different supplements, and you might even end up with a big long list of random things that sounded like they would be good, right? Like, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of things that sound good, but that's why I have a doctorate degree in knowing which nutrients, which herbs, at what doses, in which formulas, and which extracts are going to be most effective and safe. You don't want to just be randomly taking things when you could be being very strategic and specific about taking the supplements that are going to be most effective. And again, this is something that I've been helping women with for over 25 years. So I'm going to be able to guide you to find exactly the high-grade supplements at clinical doses and help guide you to take them so they can support your immune system, to be antiviral. But we don't stop there. We then need supplements that can help restore nutrient deficiencies and hormone imbalances and neurotransmitter imbalances and anything else that's going on in your body, including microbiome imbalances, so that we can get everything back online again. It was disrupted by stress and different exposures in your life, but that doesn't mean you have to stay in a depleted state. We can absolutely help your body recover, rebuild your defenses so that you can then fend off the HPV virus now and into the future, because this is not about a temporary fix. I'm not going for just a temporary fix. I don't want HPV coming back again next year. I want to help you to completely restore your ability to protect yourself into the future, even when you're re-exposed to HPV potentially in the future. So it's not a one-step process. And there is no magic pill to take. It's about taking a step back and really noticing what is your body trying to tell you, being willing to invest in your health and invest in gathering the right information, and then be able to make strategic changes based on specific information for your body so that you can actually create the kind of change that you're going for, which means being able to protect yourself from cancer, not putting yourself in a vulnerable place of a virus determining your future. But you get to determine your future, and you get to feel empowered about doing that, and not just protect yourself from HPV, but actually end up protecting yourself from so many other health issues at the same time. So I really want you to know that it's possible to protect yourself from the HPV virus, even the high-risk types, even if you've had them for many years. I've helped many, many, many women to finally get HPV to negative and keep it negative into the future. Some women have worked with me more than 15 years ago and they're still testing negative. So this is actually what I find to be the truth about HPV. And now you have my 5 tips for getting started to kill HPV naturally and give yourself that relief and freedom from HPV so that you can do what you enjoy and look forward to your future with an HPV-free life. Thanks so much for joining me, and make sure to subscribe if you'd like to listen in to the next episode. I'll see you then.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdonnie.com.